Whoa! On this side here. It's going this way. Now, if you're a subscriber to the channel, you'll probably know that my daily driver is a 2020 Audi S5, or what we call a B9 S5. And I bought that car in May of 2022, and I've used it not only as my daily driver, but also as a track car. And so I'm sure, as you can tell, I'm sitting on the other side of the car here. This is not the Audi, but rather this is my newest car, which is a 1996 Mitsubishi Evolution IV GSR, or a Mitsubishi Evo 4, as it's more commonly known. Now, this car has been a dream of mine since I was a teenager. The first car I ever owned was a 1998 Mitsubishi Mirage Coupe, which is, I guess you would call it the little brother to the Evo 5 or 6, right? It was a coupe version, not the sedan, and it was the first car I ever owned. It's the car I learned to drive stick shift on, or manual transmission, and it's the car I drove for most of my college years. In 2006, I purchased a Mitsubishi Lancer Ralliart, and that is kind of a slightly older brother to the Mirage. It was Mitsubishi had switched back to the Lancer badging in line with the name they use in the rest of the globe, and that car had 160 horsepower and 160 pound-feet of torque, and it was my goal to eventually get all the way up to an Evo. But life happens. I got married, I got a job, I needed a reliable daily driver, I stopped tinkering with cars, practicality set in, and for the most part, I drove that 2006 Lancer Ralliart for 10 years, put 100,000 miles on it before selling it and getting a Mazda 6 in 2018, and then eventually upgrading to a less practical car in the Audi S5. And I still love that car. But recently I've wanted to buy a car that I can tinker with. One of the things I've really missed is working on cars. And if you know Audis well, they're not the cheapest car to maintain and work on, but it's also a car that's my daily driver. It needs to be reliable, and it's under warranty, and I don't want to do anything to jeopardize any of those things. In addition, I started to going to the track a little bit more recently, and I've really enjoyed taking the car to the track. But the Audi, as great as it performs on the track, there's only so much I'm going to do to it to make it track focused. You know, I don't really want to lower it because it's not practical for street driving, and I don't want to enhance the engine too much because it might void the warranty. So I started looking for a track focused car, and I initially started looking at Evos. Now, of course, I was mainly looking at Evo 8s and 9s and 10s, things that had come to the US, but in doing my search, I kept coming across Evo 4s. Now, for those of you who are students of US import-export law, you may know that in order to import a car into the US, its production has to be 25 years old, meaning cars that were built in 1996 and before can now be imported to the US. And so that's what led me to start looking into Evo 4s. And there's a few that I looked at. I'll show you some pictures of ones that I looked at. I looked at a few around the area. And one of the common issues with Evo 4s is rust. These cars are in Japan. They can get rust very easily. Evos in general are susceptible to rust, so it's not uncommon for them to have rust. So I looked at a few, some that had a little bit more mileage, some that were a little too rusty, and I ended up landing on this vehicle here. This is a 1996, as I mentioned, 1996 Evo 4 GSR, which is the upper trim in black, which was a very rare color. They mostly came in white. And this one was in pretty good shape. Now, one of the things that was really unusual for me is that I bought this car basically sight unseen. I connected with the buyer on Facebook Marketplace, and he sent me very comprehensive pictures and videos and was very transparent about what was wrong. And one of my great friends who actually is the one who got me into Evos, into the car community, lived in the area where this person lived, and he was willing to go over on a Saturday and spend an hour and a half or so looking at this vehicle and gave me a clean bill of health. And so a few weeks ago, I not only purchased the car, but then contracted to have it shipped up to where I live in the Atlanta area. So it's been a joy to get to know this vehicle. Of course, with any car of this age, it has its little things here or there that aren't maybe as perfect as you would like, but that's one of the reasons I bought it. I really want to spend a lot of time over the next year, 2 years, really working on this car, refining it, and bringing it to what I want to be. Now, I have a video coming up in which I will go through every single thing that I found wrong with the car. And even since I've done that video, I've of course found a few other things as I've started to look through. But regardless, the car is in remarkable shape for its age, and I'm really happy to be its next owner. Now, what are my plans for the car? Well, as I mentioned, I want it to be a more track-focused vehicle, so certainly lowering the car. I have new wheels and tires that are on order, stiffening the suspension, and making sure that I just clean up some of the cosmetic issues here or there, things that I plan to do. And that's really what's in the near future, to hopefully be able to make it to a track day in the springtime. Past that, I don't know. I really think that this is a car I want to keep long term. It's one of those few vehicles that truly I've always wanted to own, and now that I have the opportunity to own it, it doesn't seem like something I really want to get rid of anytime soon. So I hope you are excited as I am to see the journey of this car. If you'd like to follow along with me, please like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below, tell me what you think of it. I'm sure I'll be showing some pictures and photos of the car here as we go along in this narrative. And then also subscribe to my Instagram. I'm going to try to do a better job of posting more updates of the Evo. I'll also have some content on the Audi as I do small changes to it. I've had some suspension parts on back order for some time. I really want to put in a rear sway bar and some end links, but they have just been on back order for months and months and months. So if you're interested in coming along on the journey with me, hit that like, hit the subscribe, and comment. All right, thanks. Bye.